Welcome to TradersArmy.com, defending your right to build wealth and preserve capital for generations to come.
Yeah, Tuesday. What's up, everybody? Tuesday morning. Hope everybody's having an absolutely amazing day. It is our daily market commentary with the market up 35 points this morning in the S&P as we are gaining some traction with the market rallying a bit higher. Before we get started, if you're new to the channel, do me a favor, click the subscribe button, hit the notification bell. One quick announcement I'd like to make. I do an annual charity drive, if you will. So I'm doing a bike ride across this great state of Texas for later this year for Bike Against MS. It's a great charity. If you guys have never had the opportunity to see one of these MS rides, they're humongous. And I'm building a donation bank actually with people that are willing to donate to help us with the ride across. So I'm going to put a link to my donation page. I would absolutely greatly appreciate it. Anything you can do helps. This is a phenomenal charity that touches millions of lives. It's an absolutely amazing thing that they do. So any help would be greatly appreciated. As we're myself, my brother-in-law, we're building a great ride. All right, let's go ahead and get started. So S&P today up 34, a big rally up. Last night we had a daily market commentary. Last night we had a live trade room as we talked about some of the supply levels that are up above us and some areas to kind of consider where there could be a bit of a reversal. So currently, what we're looking at is this little 15-minute level up above us. We actually just have come very close to that level and unable to get filled. And whenever we come that close to a level with an unable to get filled, I need to take that level and switch it to a confirmation entry. So that changes this entry a little bit because of our failure to fill inside the zone. Now, if we do wind up pulling back from there, then we actually have a little pivot area right in here where we may see price give us a bit of a reversal with a chance to get long again. So some overnight movement in that one. Now, we did also have some overnight movement in the NQ. So in the NQ, after having a nice little short off of the level yesterday, we rallied up strong, came into this pivot area here, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. On the sixth candle, we popped up above it as it's continuing its rally higher. That was not a great reversal level inside the NASDAQ, as it's definitely showing a fair amount of strength. We talk about this as being the weakest, the strongest of all the markets, and probably better to not look to kind of short this one. The better shorts actually are showing up in the Russell, and we don't normally look at the Russell in the daily market commentary. But even the Russell has broken through the area that I considered a potential reversal. Now, I will say this Russell, we based in front of the level, and so what does basing equal? If somebody doesn't mind telling me, what does basing equal? Because that's exactly what happened in this instance, right? We based a little bit here in front of the level, and that and now on a 4-hour chart, we are still in a downward trend. We haven't put in a higher swing high or a higher swing low as of yet. We will need to put in that higher high, higher low to look for stronger buys. But we are seeing it in the other markets a little bit more bullish momentum. So looking at those, we do have that S&P level down below us. In the NASDAQ, that same area would be. This is actually a really clean level, although it's not a great time of day. This is a very clean little level because it was resistance through here. So keep an eye on this area right in there. In crude oil, so in crude, we hit a demand area. What's funny is that this is a demand area that we had to go back literally a year to find the origin of this demand area, and it was way back here. Was the origin of this demand area, and we've actually gotten a nice little bounce off of that zone. Now, if that bounce continues, which I don't know that it's going to make it all the way up, I think you've got a decent reversal for a short up in here. But we did get a little bounce off of that level last night, and it's continued that run up. So if you took that trade, I would say at this point, take your stop and move it up since we saw a lot of weakness on this candlestick. This is a very strong reversal candlestick where we have that high upper wick. So if we are able to make it above that wick, keep an eye on a potential reversal up at this 52.31 by 52.74 region. Gold, looking at gold, we see that gold, we have hit our potential demand area. Nice, strong reversal candlestick into this gold demand area, and we're getting the move away as we speak. So keep an eye out on this one, as we will reach the 6 candles in this one fairly quickly. If we get a little bit of a bounce off of this zone. This came down pretty hard in the overnight hours. I didn't expect to make it there in the overnight hours, but we did get a little reversal off of there, so keep an eye on that level. In the bonds and currency markets, our ZN. Yesterday in our ZN trade, we had a level set up, but there was basing in front of the level, which kind of negated the opportunity for that level to make sense. And we're coming close to this little 4-hour zone. So this 4-hour zone, let me tighten this up a bit. This 4-hour zone is a bigger picture time period. Now, we did come close to it in the past, so we could see a little bit of a bounce off of here. You know, my daily chart, my big picture chart is still an upward trend, and so that might be a decent opportunity. Now, I will say this about our move up. Our momentum on our move up is slowing. If I throw my momentum indicator on here, you'll see that our momentum is clearly slowing. And so if this breaks, or if we base inside of this level, our momentum in my mind will shift, and we will have our next leg will be down. So looking at the Aussie, so inside of the Aussie, we rallied up to this Aussie level, didn't get quite above the highest point as of yet, although we're basing inside of that zone. Little bit of a reversal coming down off of here. As we still have a potential breakdown below this area in there, 68.83. There was some sort of an announcement out of the central bank, I imagine, that caused this rally up, but not enough, as it's gonna next leg is probably a drop down. In the euro, we were looking in the euro at a potential breakout above this area in here. It came very close. But we're unable to get that level filled for a euro breakout. Keep an eye still on that level. I think it's still a valid breakout long. And then in the Canadian dollar, we have a breakout short below here, and then a small 15-minute reversal just above us, right in here, worth taking a look at. As far as the Great British Pound and Japanese Yen, the pound is coming down pretty strong as we have shifted now towards this down move. We did rally up into our supply level last night, got a very strong 3-to-1 move away from that area. Unfortunately, our breakout didn't give us basing in front of the level to create a true breakout, which is why it popped back up and we came into this level for the second time. So 2 touches into this level. This is the second touch into the level, so if you didn't take it the first time, you got an opportunity the second time, and it's moving away again. But this second touch would have had to have been a confirmation entry, but this one worked out for a nice little move away from that zone. So now I'm going to remove that level. Our next supply level would be this area up in here. I still think we could get basing for a further breakdown inside of this zone on that one. And then the Japanese yen, unfortunately, that demand area was a clean stop out for small loss relative to the reward that it offered. But that's, you know, we talked about this last night. I've just not seen a whole lot of quality levels in the yen, and frankly, I've just not seen the yen holding levels very well for the last few weeks. And so I'm probably not gonna add anything new. I'm gonna pull this thing off and give it a little bit of a break, if you will. Allow it to kind of resume a more reasonable trend, as we're cutting through a lot of these smaller time frame levels in the Japanese yen. So overall, continuing that bullish momentum, up 1%. I will say that we're up 1%, although getting a little bit of the move away on this one. We're up 1% in the S&P, but yesterday's volume was a bit lower than anticipated. So the lower volume needs to be taken into consideration, but we are seeing that strong bullish opportunity as markets continuing to rally higher. But once again, if you have any questions, please send us an email, support@tradersarmy.com, and I appreciate everybody for joining us today. I will talk to you soon. See ya.